Peace, 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 family. G Consciousness is back at you, full in effect. What's going on with y'all, man? Once again, you know, we back at it again at work. We're in this the day after the snow, so to speak. I'll let y'all see what day after the snow. You know, I'm actually broke down right now. One of the trailers that I had, the brakes locked up on it, so I'm sitting here. So I figured I'd make a little video while I'm sitting here and get it in and talk about some things real quick. You know, why do the innocent suffer? Now we can see early on that when we deal with the biblical text, and also when we deal with, you know, regular life, we see that early on the innocent suffer due to the fact of certain choices and decisions we as a body, or we as a parent, if you have kids, or if you don't have kids, if you have family, if you have friends, the innocent suffer due to the fact of choices and decisions that we make. You know, unfortunately, these decisions cause a effect on our descendants, or those that stem from us. So we see that early on, you know. So I think when you read the biblical text, we see that in the biblical text, Adam himself is told, he's basically told not to partake of or eat from a tree, or the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Got a couple of things going on. Her security guard walking up here. Maybe he finna, you know, ask a couple of questions. Let's see what he about to ask. Hold on, you guys. I'm sorry. And under the trailer. He up under the he back there under the trailer.
No, sir. No.
You want him to move his truck to the side? Okay, cool. Give me a minute, y'all. Yeah. So we got the mechanic. He back there fixing on the trailer. And that went in a little rust. I mean, a little lubrication going on. So you know, once again, we have choices and decisions. We see that Adam is told not to partake of the fruit of the tree of knowledge, of the knowledge and good and evil. You know, most people don't know, but when you do a word study on the word ra for evil, that word means calamity. That word also means nauseam, plagues, grief, sorrow, misery. You know, all of these things we see this word means. So immediately Adam is told not to do something, and his wife is told just as well, and they actually still continue to do something that will cause misery, pain, chaos, famine. So they chose to basically experience these things, so to speak. We also have the Hebrew word there, which is knowledge, and we know that this is an implication of to experience. Well, how many people know that experience is not the best teacher? I don't have to get A's to know that it's not something that is healthy for me. You know what I'm saying? So we need to realize that just as well. So we look at this guy, he takes on the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and actually we see that he has no descendants before he's actually before he deals with this I don't know what the deal is with them. They out here getting into it with each other, man, and crazy stuff, you know. It's crazy out here, man. Like, you got the mechanic. Here's another situation here. Here's a situation what we got here. We got a mechanic that's told to move his truck that's working on my trailer. Because it's their trailer that's messed up, not my truck. If it was my truck, then I had to get my own mechanic and pay for it because I'm an owner-operator and I own my own truck, right? But he tells him to move his regular pickup truck to the side so other trucks can get through this industrial area. I'm at Prairie Farms, right? Which is only right, So the guy gives him, the auto mechanic gives him a hard, he gives him a problem, and we can see that he doesn't want to follow instructions. And that's the problem right there. We as man, we don't like to follow instructions. Even the women. Simple instructions. So he tells the guy to move his truck over to the right, which is only fair. So other people can get through. That's only fair. You know what I'm saying? So this guy, he doing all this other stuff, all this crazy stuff. He's mad because he has to fix his trailer. And it's time for him to get off of work, basically. So the other guy, immediately you could tell that there's some friction there because I could see his facial expression. I'm looking at him. So right then and there, we see that certain choices will cause a effect. For instance, the mechanic's mad, so what he's dealing with is contagious, and it gives off on the other guy. So then there's the strife right there, and it causes an effect. So we have to be careful, on our attitude, on our choices, because it can cause an effect within our children, genetically just as well, and also in the community. Because what we see is that Adam and Eve are dealing with what you call information. Why? Because they're eating from a tree. Alright. We're eating from a tree that's called the knowledge of good and evil. So this is information. And how many know that when you're eating food that you take on information? I don't know if you guys don't know that, but it is information, right? So we see that Adam is told about diet, and even scientifically, we deal with biology. Diet and climate plays a role of mutations. Most of the time they deal with what you call molecular clocks, which is the time that the time frame of change within certain organisms, from organism A or either organism B. Generational, whether it was short or small, they have molecular clocks for that, right? And this is deal with the genomes and the just the mutations, basically, right? So we see this early on. I think this guy finna be done here. So, I'm finna be done here. I'm gonna come back in with it, but the problem is we just need to start listening and be obedient, and if we don't, then what happens is it causes an effect. Adam, before he even had children, was given this test, and if he would fail this test, then whatever was in him would be dealt with the same way. So that's simple. You know what I'm saying? Whatever decision I make in my household, if I make a bad decision, it definitely will affect my family. So the innocent suffer due to the fact of what certain people do by certain people's actions. And this is a sign of, when you see this, is also a sign of atonement, because something innocent was made to cover what you did. This is a sign of atonement, because even though you sinned And that next person then said, some way, somehow down the way, it still covers the next person when you deal with atonement in the biblical text. Because we see early on that when Adam sinned, he was given coats of skin. Something died, something that was innocent, blood was shed to cover his sin or his shame. Whether he covered his shame, hold on. He's telling me to back up here.
And you just gonna have to keep trying to bump it.
Okay.
I can't get that fucking shield off it.
Alright, cool. So let me keep trying to bump it, and then I'm gonna go see if we can get it rolling.
Yeah, 'cause I can't get that fucking shield off it.
Okay. Keep trying. Let me get up off here because I gotta take care of this business here. Like I said, I'll be back in. Most likely, I probably won't be working today because this trailer locked up. Peace.